It is now up to Cabba, Caulifla, and the lieutenant to save Bulma's life against an evil demon who is hell-bent on killing her on the orders of a rogue god of destruction. We are back with Dragon Ball Kakumei, and let's jump into the chapter. And right off the bat, they have to do this without one of their own or two of their own, because Pino, the artificial Tuffle, the half Saiyan, half Tuffle hybrid, is absolutely injured, completely damaged, and needs repair. So the lieutenant is going to bring him over to the Tuffle laboratories to get him looked at, while Caulifla and Cabba valiantly hold off this demon who has been literally running through everybody, running fade on every single character on planet Sadala since he's arrived. This is one of the strongest characters in Dragon Ball Kakumei, and I mean, he's facing against Cabba and Caulifla. But Pino stops them and says that don't worry, he will take care of me, take care of everything. You don't have to worry about a thing. And when she's asking, what are you talking about? A growth starts coming out of Pino's back, only to morph into some sort of humanoid cell slash cooler looking creature, almost looking like what you would imagine a Tuffle to look like. But what is this thing? So the creature's name is Cabba and was created by his father, implanted into Pino, and comes out in times of need. In case he gets hurt or he needs healing, this creature repairs him, which is really interesting for a technology that could benefit everybody. But Pino is the Saiyan's version of an artificial android, basically, so it makes sense that this creature is attached to him and him only. Cabba and Caulifla keep their eyes off the prize for just a few seconds, but those seconds were precious, and in a fight against somebody who's been basically decimating everybody he's come across, that was not the smartest idea, because in their absent thought, both of them get rocked by two fists right in the face. This should have knocked them out instantly, how strong this creature actually is. But they weren't actually hits, they were actually slaps or backhands, if you will, and they were not meant to destroy them or kill them at all. It was just to get their attention, get them back into the fight by just bitch slapping them, which is, like I said, this demon is completely out of pocket most of the time and one of the strongest warriors in the Dragon Ball verse, at least in this version. Caulifla, sporting her brand new Super Saiyan 3 transformation, stares right into Salaga's eyes and tries to punch him, only for it to completely fail, showing the extent of distance between the power levels of this demon and a Super Saiyan 3 Saiyan. She goes in and tries to knee him, and he catches that as well, evading it gracefully, but that's when Cabba jumps in, and again, this is a 2v1, so of course this is absolutely fair in this fight. But even then, just like the way that he's blocking their punches, it even seems like they may be weaker than Pino when it comes to power levels, or at least fighting strength. Cabba's attack makes no difference whatsoever. Remember, Salaga is completely immune to key attacks, so they have to go with a completely different type of battleman here to face off against him. Similar to how Rock Lee doesn't have ninjutsu, this guy just isn't affected by the key attack. Caulifla comes in, though, in this sort of little moment where he's kind of talking to himself and headbutts him right in the forehead. Doesn't really move him, does bloody him up a little bit, but leaves him open again for another kick attack. This is another key attack that, I mean, like, come on, Cabba, you know he's not effective by ki, so why are you keep dishing it out? But I think it was for the explosion itself, because the explosion left a cloud, huge cloud all around him, leaving enough of an opening for the lieutenant to come in and actually strike him right in the face with a perfect blow. This to anybody else would be a knockout hit, but to someone like Salaga, it probably doesn't do much. But that's when Pino comes back in with his tornado special move. This, remember, is the only move that really did some damage to him and exhausted the demon pretty easily in the last few chapters. And this is the only move that this guy actually physically had to force himself to dodge. So he dodged it only to be caught by Cabba again, who goes in for a galley gun, while Super Saiyan 3 Caulifla goes in for a cannon crush right dead center, right in his face, but he is easily able to deflect both attacks. Remember, he is not affected by key attacks whatsoever. I don't know why they keep issuing it, but they might not really remember or understand what his abilities are and how he keeps deflecting the key attacks. Caulifla yells at Cabba, what the hell is he doing? Cabba says that his arm won't move anymore, it's completely paralyzed. And during this interim, this is when Salaga decides that he needs to take out Pino. Pino is literally the only one here that is around his level, or at least close to it, with enough hacks that he can actually damage this guy. And so he's like, I'm going to take you out first, basically taking out the one guy that can actually do some damage to him. But Pino is understanding the situation really clearly and tries to go in for another attack. Maybe the attack wasn't in full force, or maybe there's a difference with the distance or the timing or whatever, but the attack does nothing to Salaga and he completely brushes it off, only to go in for a death blow to try to kill Pino again. But remember, Pino can regenerate. He is essentially artificial, so he doesn't really have like the vital areas like everybody else would. And so I think that's part of Pino's plan, to get in close to Salaga to basically hold him still, and using that really weak attack because he knew that Salaga would go in for the kill, which he did. And at this point, Pino's flesh is literally healing itself around Salaga's arm faster than Salaga can pull out the arm. And so basically he's stuck now inside Pino, while Pino is able to do his signature attack that can actually damage Salaga at point blank range with his entire body. But he won't let that happen and actually flies with Pino, trying to kind of get him out of the range that he needs and like get off his concentration. But now he's realizing that he actually is in a little bit of trouble here. At least his arm is. It's stuck inside Pino. He'd have to rip Pino in two to get his arm back. But with the intensity and the devastating whiplash of the attack that Pino has been basically throwing at this guy the entire time, he gets close enough and strong enough of a attack to rip this dude's arm off completely, and now he's gushing blood as he flies off into the opposite direction. But look at his face. His face doesn't tell me that he's worried at all. His face tells me more that he's pissed off more than anything. The lieutenant fires an arrow and all of them try to converge on this dude's landing spot. The enemy is literally on the back foot here with one arm less, and so he should be able to be easy pickings at this point and easily destroyed. But now Salaga is getting pissed off. He's like, damn it, who the hell do you all think I am? Like, you guys are all coming at me. One of you guys took my arm. Like, you guys think that I'm easy. You guys think that I'm child's play, which, you know, I'm nothing to play with. Remember, this guy is the second hand to the Venerable Heir, which is the excluded god of destruction. So this guy's pretty powerful in his own right, and he's shown that time and time and again in the entirety of Dragon Ball Kakumei. So the fact that they're doing this much damage to him is pretty admirable, but really is mainly Pino and his hacks abilities, while the other two are trying, or the other three are trying their hardest to kind of push him back. But I mean, like, is it really working? That's the real question. Now, this is funny because I feel like this is gonna 100% fail, but Cabba and Caulifla are both coming in, and like this entire page is just so dramatic with them coming in. They're both giving it their all. Obviously Caulifla giving more, seeing as how she's a Super Saiyan 3, but still, like, they're completely in sync. They've probably trained this before, but they're both coming in with trying to give him the most out of whatever they can muster and try to damage him as much as possible. And like, that's the question, is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Are they gonna do damage on this guy? Like, is this guy really a pushover like that? Because, you know, Cabba and Caulifla are not even like god class types of Saiyans. Like, what's going on? And that's when he stops them. Like, he literally stops both of them in mid-air as they are charging to him. He's got Cabba by the neck, and then he's manipulating his blood and using it as a hand around Caulifla's neck. He's got both of them by the necks, and that is when Cabba foolishly drops the capsule that Bulma is hiding in. Now, Salaga is vigilant. He sees that this capsule falls, and he notices that it's something, right? But look at this. He says, Their heart beats abnormally fast. He's like thinking faster than they're moving, basically. Their eyes are riveted on this capsule because they're both staring at it. Oh, I see. Like, he's starting to put the pieces together because of the way that Cabba and Caulifla are both acting around this capsule. And Caulifla is getting pissed off and just kind of giving it all away, like that the fact that this is something. But before she can even finish her sentence, her extent of using Super Saiyan 3 is at an end, and she completely goes back to base form, and Caulifla is out of the picture. Cabba says that she hasn't mastered the form yet, meaning like, yeah, she's gonna go right back to base. And so he throws her away, knowing and realizing that she's completely out of the fight. And that is when he starts manipulating a clone out of his breath, and this clone is heading toward the capsule. This is where you're hiding Bulma, and he's going straight for it, and if he grabs it, it's game over for Bulma. If she's crushed like this, it's out, it's done, like end of the line, end of the picture. Pino tries to regenerate during this time, but his robot, his artificial being that's inside of him, is completely out of order. Like, it's not gonna work, so he can't regenerate anymore. Now come on, Lieutenant, come on, you honestly have to have seen some battles here. Like, why are you so dismayed at this shit? Because like, she's like, oh, with me and Cabba alone, we're never going to be a match for him. She voluntarily, instead of trying to take out this guy while he's preoccupied with Cabba and going in to try to fight him, she gives up. She's like, it's over. She literally goes back to base on her own without anything else. But Cabba's standing on business, and with him so close, he punches this guy straight in the face. Look how powerful that punch is. Like, you can barely see this guy's face. It's completely blurry with blood and force, and he yells the famous line, "Don't you dare touch Mrs. Bulma." But again, it is all for nothing. He even says that the clone that's coming off him is about to destroy the capsule. I can only imagine that this is happening so fast in such a small amount of time, but it's being drug out because they're, you know, that's the way they're moving and they're thinking so slowly, but everything's happening so fast. And Cabba is just so upset here. He's like, I must find the strength, as literally his claw is wrapping around the capsule that Bulma's hiding in. He's like, I must find the strength. And as he sees it get closer and closer and closer, he explodes into a mighty rage. Like, we've never seen Cabba like this before. Lieutenant not being much help here. She's like, you can't even stand, bro. Just give up. Why don't you just give up? But Cabba's like, hell no, I'm not giving up. I'm standing here on business. He says, I'm a Saiyan, and I don't need to stand on my own 2 feet to rip you to pieces. He gets a little praise from the enemies, as the look on your face is almost spine-chilling, because this is not Cabba, ever so friendly neighbor next door type of guy. This is like, I'm gonna kill you if you touch that capsule. Like, I'm going to rip your guts out type of Cabba. He uses all the strength that he's remaining to blast Salaga, and it is absolutely no use. Like, he literally just kind of blocks it, deflects it relatively easily with his hand. Salaga's like, what did you expect? Like, come on, seriously, what did you expect? But at least he tried, at least he did something. But that was probably his last action in this war, because he gets shot right in the heart. And Cabba is finally out of the fight. And actually, I love this panel right here. I don't know why. It just looks extremely detailed and not like Dragon Ball at all, but I just like this panel a lot. Cabba is now down, Pepino's down, Caulifla's down, and Lieutenant has given up. And I love the way that Salaga talks here. He's like, these things happen. You've given your all. It just wasn't enough. And I like that he's like kind of like a proud warrior. Like, this is kind of like how I wanted Gas to be in Dragon Ball Super, like more of a warrior like that, like where he acknowledges the strengths of his opponents even though he's stronger than them, instead of being like, ha ha ha, I'm stronger than you, which is exactly what ended up happening at the end. So I definitely like the way this is going. And boom, Bulma theoretically is no more, because he's shattered. Like, we have to actually figure out what happens when you shatter these things. Like, does everything inside just disappear? Like, is that how it works? He completely destroyed it. So, like, is it completely gone out of existence? I know, like, each one's like a little pocket dimension, kind of. So, like, what happens with the pocket dimension? Do they get trapped in there, like the room of certain time? Like, what is going on? Either way, this dude, like, has been his main mission given to him by the Venerable Heir for chapters now, and he finally completed it, finally finished it. R.I.P. Bulma. I'm hoping that she's still alive somehow, but I don't see how she could be, to be honest with you. But let me know what you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Kakumei. I'll have the newest Dragon Ball Kakumei chapter next.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.